You are now listening to the Peter and Jake Talks Wrasslin podcast, a weekly review of Monday Night Raw and other wrestling-related topics. And here's your hosts, Peter Day and Jake Grandi.
Check, 1, 2.
Hello, hello.
Buddha monks in the trunk. Turn the bass up. You are now listening to Peter and Jake Talks Wrasslin. We'll get through this motherfucker this week without blows, right?
I hope. Let's see.
Because I was right.
We do have a... No, he wrestled Zack Ryder, and he's going to be on NXT.
No. I'm talking about the pay-per-view thing.
No, it was in Germany. No Escape. It was called No Escape in Germany.
Because it was like all over the place. It was like, it was like exclusive to the network. It's only exclusive to the network.
Well, I was right about some things. She was right about some things.
No, I'm always right about everything.
You said he was going to wrestle an NXT guy on SmackDown. You wrestled
I'm not even thinking about that. I ain't talking about that. I don't care about that fat fuck.
Well, I don't know. we could just. I think looking back on it, it was silly. It
was silly.
It's always silly to talk about wrestling that way. Just to freak out about wrestling.
Hey man, I hope your photos are loading into my computer. I hope so.
Oh, are they? No, we can't be doing that.
No, it's not doing that.
Oh, okay.
All right, so what are we talking about? We talking about Raw? We talking about like a crazy week of like craziness? Just go straight into Raw. Is any wrestling news that you even care to even talk about? Just a quick.
No, I think it's kind of everyone's waiting. I've heard rumors about Team 3D, the Dudley Boys, wrestling specifically Harper and Rowan in a feud.
Well, all I know from that is just when they hit the 3D, I was like, what? They call it the Way.
Yeah, the Way.
Bubba posted a tweet about it. It's like, well, at least if you wanted that as a move, you could have just called us. I heard nothing after that.
Oh, well, yeah, I know that people have been talking about Bubba Ray going up there real quick, and I think that would just be a good little feud. But that's just like fantasy booking. I don't know.
Well,
it's one of those things that doesn't really matter if it does happen, but it'd be cool if it did.
I would want Harper and Rowan to be badasses. I would want them to actually be built up before facing legends like that. Because they're not that great of a tag team. Harper is awesome. Rowan still is like, I'm indifferent about him. I was starting to like him, and then those stairs went on his shoulders, and I was just like, all right, I'm done with this guy. But as a tag team, they're green. They're green as fuck. And to have the Dudley Boys, who've basically been tag teaming since the 20s, it'd be no contest. I mean, there'd be no way to go in and thinking that.
It'd be a good way to have them, like the Dudley Boys, beat them, get their heat back, from all the fans that don't remember them or whatever, and then have them wrestle maybe like a primetime players and then lose. So then you just have Dudley Boys for 2 weeks.
I mean, if the Dudley Boys come back, I want them to stick around.
Yeah.
I mean, they will be because they're so seasoned as a duo. The best tag team, the most entertaining tag team. I think the only other, now that Stardust and Goldust are done, they were the most entertaining, But like,
Kid and Cesaro.
Well, right now we don't even know if Kid's all fucked up.
Yeah,
it was a spinal injury.
Yeah,
and you don't just bounce back from a spinal injury.
This is true. So that's
from Samoa Joe of all fucking people.
Yeah.
Talk about welcome to the fucking club.
Yeah.
That sucks. I mean, that really sucks. Because he was out for like a year for his knee. They took him off TV, and then he got injured. It was like 2 years he was off TV.
Yeah, I mean, he just built himself back up. He wasn't in NXT for like 2 years. But I don't know. Yeah. I didn't think that we were not going to get Cesaro on Raw because of that. I thought they were getting.
I know, right?
Yeah, he better be popping up on Main Event or Superstars or something.
I think Vince just has it out for the guy. Vince has it out for the guy. If they brought back the Real Americans, I wouldn't be mad at that. I mean, where the fuck is Jack Swagger? Is he even on Superstars?
I haven't seen him in a while. I did watch Superstars Main Event this week though.
I saw your tweets.
And I watched SmackDown.
And you watched SmackDown? Did you see my review?
I did not.
You gotta It's probably my best review yet
Yeah.
of SmackDown. Probably my best review.
That's what's up.
I really go into the whole, because you know how I feel about the fatal four ways,
Yeah.
the triple threats. I go into that, and then I go into the lack thereof creative to just set up feuds, not for number one contendership. You know, like these number one contendership crappy tournaments.
Yeah.
It's like between those two, it's ruining wrestling. There's a whole ruining WWE. There's a whole list of things that's wrong. But like, dude, you can't sub. You know, Cena Owens. They have a feud. There was no number one contendership. You know what I'm saying? There's not going to be a third party. It's just going to be those two slugging it out, and we're always going to remember that.
This is true. And and they jump off with John Cena coming out right at the top of Raw. Pretty big over crowd. It looks like he broke his nose a little bit in St. Charles, he said, or Lake Charles. He said that
in a match against Kane.
a
match against somebody.
Is it Barrett? I know Barrett took over this weekend, last weekend's shows. So
it was Barrett. Yes,
Okay.
It was Barrett.
So that was funny. It was Saxton in the booth this week, which is kind of
weird.
Not as good as Booker T. Not as good as Jerry Lawler even.
I don't like his voice.
Yeah, whatever.
I don't like his voice. I mean, like, no, seriously. I think if he had at least a little more umph in his voice, just a little more something's missing. Something's really missing from him.
I haven't been impressed with him when he's been on NXT at all. I think whenever they ask him questions, he looks like he's not been paying attention.
Yeah.
And he didn't. I mean, JBL and Michael Cole have been doing it forever, so it's easy to look bad compared to them. But it could have been a two-man team. It would have been fine.
Last week, Xavier Wood was on. It was the Primetime Players and the New Day on commentary with, Cole, King, and Booker T, and all I could see, and I think we talked about it last week. I was like, man, like Wood is a natural. Like,
Yeah.
he has a strong voice, he has charisma, he has character, and like you just get it all in one thing. And he's a pretty sharp guy. You know what I'm saying? And I just don't get that out of Baron Saxton. It's like if Wood just say, you know what, if Wood got hurt, let's just say Woods got hurt, I would pray they would just get rid of Saxton and just put Wood in his place.
Yeah, I can see how you would say that. Or even there's other people in NXT that deserve a chance. I'd say other than Saxton's, like Corey Graves would be.
Well, they're building on Corey Graves.
Yeah, they need to give him, maybe move him to SmackDown or move him to like a main event or Superstars.
He's not smooth.
In the
He's not smooth.
I guess you keep on the pre-show until you're ready for him.
You know who I feel like he should study with? I feel like he should watch all of Lucha Underground just to keep in touch with, like.
Oh, Matt Striker?
No, not Striker.
Vampiro?
Vampiro. Yeah. I think he could be. I think if he followed Vampiro's lead and just saw how smooth he was, how smooth he is, and how he said things, brings a bit of an edge. I think that he could be as good as Vampiro in terms of like color commentary. Like, yeah. But man, a whole host of shit. That what is it? The Stone Cold podcast with Paul Heyman set off like a fucking storm. The racist tweets from that TNA chick. You didn't hear about that? Her name, it's like a dude's name. I can't even think of it. You could probably type it up, but this TNA chick who actually is not on TNA anymore. She's at the developmental. A couple of tweets came up from her from 2 years ago. She's like, I hate niggers, and talking about how she was talking to someone with another language, and she was like making like
Racist.
Yeah, like Twitter, racist. I'm typing it now, people. Racist. TNA knockout. What the hell is her name? Havoc.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
What was her full name? Is something Havoc? What is it?
Oh, I don't. I know. I just know. Yeah, I know who Havoc is.
Just the most ridiculous tweets, and now she's not. I think they're gonna let her ass go. Like her career is ruined.
Yeah, well, I don't. You don't feel sorry for people like that,
Nope.
but I don't know. I don't want anyone to. I don't know. Whatever.
Yeah. And so we've been babbling.
So Saxon was on the booth, but John Cena comes right about it. I thought the crowd was completely over in New Orleans.
I forgot we even started into the Raw.
Yeah. It was a great crowd, and then it was an alright promo. He cut, just your basic John Cena, U.S. champion promo. Kevin Owens then comes out, pretty much says like we're gonna see who people want to fight for. Do they want to fight for the NXT title or do they want to fight for the U.S. title? And Neville comes out, and Neville says, you may say that you're a prize fighter, but you're not worthy of this prize, the NXT title, the title he's held longer than anybody. So he wanted to wrestle the NXT champion. And Neville versus Owens. What you think of the match?
Well, back to the promo. Owens basically continued his promo over from SmackDown, calling him delusional, calling him all these different things, and he went into a really good promo. I mean, it's not to be looked over. The fact that this is maybe like his third or fourth time talking on the mic, and him going into, the idea that he's really making himself at home. Like, I think it's probably one of the smoothest transitions to the main roster in terms of being on a microphone. Like, and it's just a natural ability to be able to interact, especially. And this is probably one of the most refreshing beginnings of any Raw in a very long time. Very long time. No authority, no Triple H, nobody talking, no Seth Rollins, no Kane.
Yeah,
this is John Cena, who hasn't done an opening spot in a while. Neville and Owens. Like, what? And then Owens and Neville are fighting in the first match? Like, This is the future. You see it. Like, say we get in a time machine and, like, who opened, June 4th?
No, it was 8th, 9th?
Yeah, June 8th of 2014. And who was opening? Who were the people being featured in the opening segment? Probably vast from what we were dealing with right now.
Yeah,
guys who probably weren't even. Were they in NXT? Well, Owens wasn't in NXT. Neville was the jam. Yeah, it's just like we're far removed. We're far removed from a lot of what we used to now in the WWE, and that's the only thing I'll say about that. It was super refreshing.
Yeah, I think it was awesome. The match was great. Neville was always doing great stuff.
Surreal. It was surreal.
I thought it was awesome. He reversed. Kevin Owens was trying to do an AA to kind of mock Cena. He reversed into a nice swinging DDT at one point. They kind of teased the Red Arrow 3 times. Kevin Owens always getting out of it. And then all of a sudden pop a power bomb, and Kevin Owens took the victory. I thought it was a great match.
It was amazing. The crowd was crazy. And you say San Antonio. I mean, San Antonio's a decent crowd. They're not a great crowd. I guess something about Texas, Corpus Christi. They were in Houston. They throw in canned noise, but for the most part, you need to throw in canned noise at that SmackDown show. But like, for the rest of the show, the crowd had nothing to really cheer for at all. This match they had, right? I mean, I saw that same match basically on NXT. You know the match I'm talking about? Because he even does that slow motion German suplex.
Oh, really?
You never saw them on NXT?
Oh, yeah. I remember that. I remember the deadlift pickup. I forgot about that even in this match.
It's beautiful. Those two. Is it just Owens? Is it Owens who's just like this really? Because you probably see more matches than I have of him. Is he just a natural with anybody? Like, does he deliver? Because I think the Sami Zayn matches weren't great. I mean, I think he was more like Arn Anderson in those matches, like cut the ring off, keep the high flyer on the ground, headlocks, chokeholds, just not the match with Cena. They're like 2 worlds apart, and I'm like, well, why didn't we get?
Well,
this?
He definitely put a lot on the line on the Cena match, but I think they tell him to come. I think they don't want him to go all out every match just for the sake of storyline purposes. Like, you're trying to put over that Sami Zayn's a high flyer, so you don't have him do high flying moves. Where John Cena, you're trying to tell the story where he's different. He's going to be different than guys John Cena's faced before, so you have him do like things like the split-legged moonsault. But that's what I think. I think he just is playing to the storyline of the match. And like this match, he was like the power guy. That's why you saw him do
But he had a lot of finesse.
Yeah, the big senton.
In terms of wily, I think Neville is wilier than Zayn, and he didn't hold him down. I think it was boom, boom, boom. It was never a dull moment, and I was just like, dude, this is surreal. The days of, say, the type of wrestling where we see for WWE versus what just happened in that ring right then. The crowd going nuts. These two rookies, sending the crowd in like crazy.
It was great. And then we had a Dean versus Rollins from Elimination Chamber, like a little vignette, like just to catch you up on the storyline. And then it shows like Dean on Franklin Street or Bourbon Street with a lot of like WWE fans or whatever.
You see that one dude look like Bray Wyatt?
Yeah,
I thought it was him.
Yeah, I thought they were just showing like a nice little pic of everyone like partying with him, but then like throughout the show they kept showing more pictures of Dean Ambrose on Bourbon Street.
The only thing that pissed me off is like, why not take a camera? Like, I don't know what it is about Dean Ambrose's character or storyline or what they want to do with him whenever he's in like these predicaments. Okay, this is probably the first time that they actually had some footage of him just doing something, right?
Yeah.
Before it's just like, oh, he left. Oh, now he's back.
Yeah. I guess
they could have took a camera crew and just like shot maybe 30 minutes of footage of him just kind of kicking on Bourbon Street, like asking random questions or like guys could set up to talk to. So they drop the ball every time with that shit. I don't know. But backstage.
It's a Brie Bella or Nikki Bella.
But there's a scene before where Steph and Triple H and Rollins, and they're kind of rubbing in the face of Rollins the statements he made on last Monday about not needing them, and how he was like backing up. You could hear the beep 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 like a big truck of him sort of kind of backing out of his words, of him actually being desperate for their help. It's like, oh, I don't need J&J, I don't need Kane, but I need you guys, though. I need you guys. And they're like, you really do? Do you really? Oh, you got this. Just kind of rubbing it in his face and him just playing the chicken shit. And I'm sick of that from him. I think his matches don't reflect his character. Not at all. I don't know why they keep putting him in this sort of Randy Orton V2 sort of chicken shit.
Yeah, I guess he does it well, so they think that that's how they should use him, even though...
I mean, anyone in that position can just do it. I don't think he does it well. I don't think he does it well.
No.
I would much rather have a badass Seth Rollins. It would be more believable if Roman Reigns was a chicken shit. He's like this big guy, but he's kind of like, he's like the corporate champ, and he's kind of the pretty boy. He doesn't want to get physical.
Compared to like what we actually know, like from behind the scenes and everything.
What do you mean?
Like it would make more sense for Roman Reigns to be a chicken shit. He's like the stronger guy, so it makes more sense that it's like a smaller guy being the chicken shit.
If he was the champ and he was connected to the authority, the whole idea is that like I'm better than everyone and I don't feel like wrestling. Like get me out of any match possible.
Yeah.
And even a match that I am in, like make it so I don't have to put out as much effort.
Yeah, I guess
and that could be like just a Hollywood sort of The Rock, what he was doing. But while they're in the back, they're like, well, check this out, right? To warm you up for the upcoming pay-per-view on the WWE Network and pay-per-view Money in the Bank, you can pick your opponent on the evening, and that's how that segment ends.
Yes, good. And then we go to a Nikki Bella promo. Not much there. Good promo, good delivery, but not didn't say way too much.
I thought we were at a Miss America pageant.
Uh-huh.
The way she talks is as if she's at a pageant. It was like a pageant promo,
Well, yeah, it is Nikki. It's not going to be too good ever.
Well, it was a good pageant promo. It wasn't a good wrestling promo. I'm thinking, like she could have said, well, if you were the ambassador of the world, what would you change? Well, I would change all world hunger.
Yeah.
Like, I was waiting for that. Like, that's what I was hearing. I was just like, shut up. Like, learn how to spit wrestling promos. You know, like, if she ever decides she wants to compete in Miss America or some shit, or like one of those bodybuilding shit, she's gold.
Yeah.
But
they have Dana Brooke in TNA. She does that. She's going to like Brazil and all those places to do that.
Yeah, but she sucks as a wrestler.
So does Nikki. So like
Nikki's better.
Yeah, she's been there since 2007.
Yeah.
So not 8 years. She should be better. But
you're so defensive with the NXT, man.
Nikki just is bad. She's just bad. People just say that she's better. She's awful. The fact that she's gotten so many chances to get this good is bad.
Well, I mean, she's gotten chances. I mean, I'm not taking anything away from the fact that she's had the chance to get better.
She's a 10-year veteran and she's that bad. This girl has wrestled 2 months and she's almost as good.
You're so defensive with NXT.
That's true. That's just true.
She is.
She's like 2% better, which she's been training 10 years.
I saw Dana Brooks, and I was just like, why the fuck is she in there?
Same reason Nikki is in there. Just like, I don't know. She does, and her moveset's way better when she does that one choke.
Let's take the Bellas out of the equation. Just her in general. I'm like, what?
Oh yeah, for sure. But if you're gonna compare, I wasn't
comparing. You brought it up.
You said she's better. Let's compare.
I didn't say she was better. I said
Nikki was better.
I said you know what? She is better, and because she has had more time to improve. And for what it's worth, in terms of like the quality of Divas matches that are going, I mean the roster that's up there, she out of the tier between the 3-way of her, Paige, and Naomi. She's been able to keep up. Now, let's just say you throw Sasha Banks in there, like, of course, she's going to be, like, lost as fuck. But for what they want for the Divas division and the quality of matches, I think, hey, not too bad. She stinks. But, like, it's like, well, the measuring stick is what it is.
Yeah, she did a nice scoop slam against Summer Rae, and then she hit him with the rack attack. Pretty much a squash match.
I don't care about the Divas match. The thing is, Divas, it looked like there was going to be this hot little thing, this thing that happened, and give Divas a chance. It looked like there was a momentum, and maybe some story writing, Naomi, and, all that shit. And then, boom, they just threw it all away.
Yeah.
They just like, okay, hey, you remember when Naomi attacked Paige in London? Here's your throwaway on SmackDown. Like, here's your throwaway, here's your payoff of the revenge that Paige gets on SmackDown, like with no drama in between. The idea that she jacked her in that Divas Battle Royal. Like, if you're not gonna write it to where you care, I'm not gonna care. So until they do something, whatever, man.
For sure. And then we had a Roman Reigns promo come out.
Second hour.
Yeah, Kane comes out. Pretty much Ziggler comes out. They're just going back and forth here.
Money in the Bank spot.
Yeah, and then R-Truth comes out, and then
great.
Yeah, then he's just like, on this Sunday, I'm gonna whoop everyone's ass. I've conquered my fear of ladders.
Yeah, he's like, months ago, I conquered my fear of ladders. And he's coming out to spit the greatest promo in his career. That's what that was. It was like when Heath Slater came out on Rusev.
Yeah, it was awesome.
It was badass. And it was
said, ding ding, you son of a bitch.
Yeah, it was just like he cut the greatest promo, and you thought he was gonna just kick Rusev's ass, and you thought you saw R-Truth. He wasn't shucking and jiving. The music came on. He just came in. He's like, "What's up?" And then he goes into his promo, and he's about to. It was awesome. And then Kane's like, Truth.
You're not in the Money in the Bank match.
And I thought he was, actually. And he's like, what? I'm not? He's like, oh, my bad. Oh, man. I was just like, as much as I don't like Truth and the way they have him gimmicked, I laughed my ass
It was
off.
hilarious, yeah. I think it's funny that they even did that with anybody. But then Truth, he definitely made it better. So then he just kind of goes to the back. And then
my bad.
Yeah.
The crowd got a great laugh, man. I think anyone who didn't laugh at that, you're just a sourpuss.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty funny. And then Kofi being in the Money in the Bank ladder match, the New Day comes out, and they say a little something, and then
we're all gonna be the Money in the Bank champion.
Yeah.
We're holders.
And then Sheamus comes out after that, and it ends up being Orton versus Sheamus.
Now, before we go into this, let me ask you something. Would you have booked this leading into matches? Like, how would you like this?
All of this
spot right here, like this, because what it is a Money in the Bank promo.
Yeah, I thought they were gonna have New Day versus Reigns and Ziggler, like a nice safe tag match. It's believable to have Roman Reigns super punch to get the victory.
You know what I would have done? I probably would have done something like that later or something. But this is a Money in the Bank. This is where all the contenders are in the ring. I say just have a brawl. Like, someone just say something the wrong way, and like one guy hits another guy, and then everything just goes out of control.
Yeah.
And then everyone's laid out, and then you get Ziggler or somebody go grab a ladder and go climb to the top of the ladder and just sort of put his hand, not necessarily take it off, but they put his hand on the Money in the Bank that's hanging from the ring, and have the place just going nuts.
Yeah, that would have been good.
I'm like, what a wasted opportunity. What a waste, because this is the go-home show.
Yeah.
This didn't get anyone excited for Money in the Bank. These row of matches.
No, we got like a good laugh.
We don't even need to even talk about Orton versus Sheamus. Like, fuck off with that.
Yeah, I've seen that match so many times.
It's like, okay, so
Randy gets the DQ because he uses a chair. He just like chucks a chair at Sheamus's stomach, gets the DQ.
Because it's basically it's payback from last week, because Sheamus beat the shit out of Orton, and now Orton's returning the favor.
Yeah.
Like
RKO to Sheamus, and then we go to Rollins and J&J in the back, and that's when he pretty much says that he's going to challenge Rollins is going to challenge J&J as the opponents for tonight, and that's when we hear Joey Mercury finally speak, saying he's going to kick Rollins' ass. And you kind of saw them getting serious there, which is pretty awesome.
Yeah.
And then we go into Dolph versus Kane. What do you think of this match?
Lana was in a hideous dress.
Oh yeah, the story of this match pretty much was Rusev comes out and kind of doesn't let Lana leave, so she kind of tries to leave off the side of the ramp and falls, hurts her ankle, and off the distraction, Kane chokeslams Ziggler. Rusev thinks it's funny, Kane gets the win, and Ziggler goes and makes sure Lana's alright.
I was dozing off during this match.
Did you hear that one guy? I gotta admit, I kind of like skipped ahead.
I dozed off. I mean, because Sheamus and Orton, I went and grabbed my clothes and folded my clothes. The computer was sitting right here. I was sitting right there. Like, the computer's not even facing me. I'm just like listening and folding clothes. And then when I finally finished and I sat down, because that match went for like 15 minutes. It was like 15 minutes of like crickets, right? Of just the most boring thing ever. I sit down, and then when the match came on with Kane and Ziggler, I was dozing off. I was like, should I just take a nap? So I just like dozed off for like maybe like a minute or something, and just opened my eyes just in case, maybe something happened. Rusev walks out, and I perk up. I actually like get some energy. I'm like, well, what's happening here? Because the way he rolls up is so creepy. Right. He's like the creepiest dude, and the look on his face, like, yeah. I was like, this guy is weird. This is gonna be fucked up. Whatever's happening, what's gonna happen right here?
Yeah.
Ugh.
And yeah, it was an alright match. Just distraction, chokeslam.
Are you ever gonna say a match is anything else than alright? It's an alright match.
I say great match. I say stuff.
You say it was an alright match. You say it every time. When we get to the next match, you can probably say the same thing.
Well, let's see what it is. Yeah, that match was alright. Well, we did have a Miz TV segment prior to the next match. Ryback comes out. It's super hot crowd for Ryback. Then the Big Show comes out. They get in each other's face. What do you think of this feud overall? I guess the segment really just was there to push the feud. I mean, it wasn't.
Did you notice how Dolph was grabbing Lana's hair?
I saw it one time. Yeah, I guess you can't really stroke Lana's hair.
It was weird, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was kind of weird. Did you see that one guy who was yelling, "She's faking, Dolph"?
No.
He just like picked up so well on the camera.
No, I wasn't paying attention. I was so distracted by how he was grabbing her hair, like he's palming her hair. I was like, but he was selling the choke slam, which is even funnier. He's selling the choke slam and like grabbing her hair. But What are we talking about? We're talking about the Miz TV.
Miz TV segment with Ryback and Big Show.
Okay. Hey, Miz he's great at his role. And I'll just leave it at that. The way this ends is stupid. It's fucking stupid. This is the WWE and their fucking pitity and just dropping the balls when it comes to payoffs. Like the payoff of this fucking...
That should have been the end of the feud.
The payoff of this goddamn beginning of the hour, all those Money in the Bank guys should have been a brawl and someone climbing up and emulating them, grabbing a fucking...
Yeah.
Dropped opportunity. You mean to tell me in a Miz TV segment for a go-home show to a pay-per-view, you're going to have Ryback fucking lift
the Big Show. Yeah, that should have been obviously the payoff for the feud, or just...
What a fucking...
There's really no point of if you were going to get Money in the Bank for this match, why would you do it now?
Why? Why?
Yeah.
It infuriated me. When I saw him look, I said, you better not do it. All I could think was, let Big Show just fall on top of him. Just fall on top of him. Please.
Yeah.
Nope. They fucking just blow their wad just like that. Like, see ya. Dude, I don't know what I'm going to be doing during this match, but I'll probably just find something else to do.
Alright, that's cool. Fold more clothes.
Watch some porn or something. But this is WWE. I know you hear it in my voice, people. I am really deterred by this. Really fucking deterred. Oh, dumb as hell.
Yeah. Then we had Los Matadores with El Torito, Peter's favorite wrestler, versus Harper and Rowan. This is pretty much, a squash match. Rowan and Harper pretty much do all the same offense where, Harper makes the tag, pulls Rowan off of him just to throw him in there in the
short
corner.
Work.
Yeah.
El Torito takes a hideous bump, though.
He does. Yeah, Rowan bumps El Torito off. Then it pretty much sets up for the way or the 3D, whatever you like to call it.
Yeah.
And this match was an alright match. I do like Harper and Rowan, so I think it's cool that they're getting a little bit of a push.
It's all about the finisher. I think this was it was short work. I thought they were going to try to do something with Los Matadores maybe a couple of months ago leading to Payback. You felt like they was turning heel. Maybe there was a little bit of dissension between El Torito and those two guys. I don't know if you remember, but there was one match they lost and it looked like they were pushing each other. I think El Torito came over to console one of them.
Yeah.
You remember that? And it looks like they were going to develop a story out of those guys.
I thought they were going to send El Torito with the Lucha Dragon.
That would have been a waste.
I just thought that's what they're going to do. Seeing it at the time, obviously it's ridiculous now, but that's what I thought they were going to do actually.
But yeah, this is all about the 3D. This is all about the 3D. They hit it twice.
Yeah, they hit it on both Matadors. I thought they were going to get El Torito, but that wiry bastard got away.
Well, he's still... Man,
that's the payoff. That's what
that bump he took off the apron was pretty hideous. It looked like he wasn't expecting it at all. Yeah. It really looked bad, And it's not like, it's not like one of the Los Matadores hit him by mistake. It was, a 6'8", 290-pound man coming at high velocity, on a guy who's 4'7", maybe 80 pounds.
He sent him flying.
Yeah,
that's true.
Yeah, that's physics. That's the law of physics. Shaq, and that's Shaq and your girlfriend. Just no. Oh man, R.I.P. I mean, he died that night. I think El Torito's dead. I think he's still laying there.
Well, hopefully we'll see on Thursday SmackDown the state of El Torito and how they got him peeled off of that rail. But then we went into Titus O'Neil versus Big E. I was pretty excited about this match.
Damn right I was. Now, again, a lot of lows, but this was one of the highs. I
like how Big E in the very early going had Titus O'Neil in the abdominal stretch, and he was just smacking him in the beat of New Day Rocks or New Day Sucks, what have you. I thought that was good. Nice little touch. Yeah.
I popped because that was something I read in an interview with Stone Cold, and he was talking to someone about when's the last time you seen someone do an abdominal stretch and grab the rope so the ref couldn't see it. I go Man, I think the last person I even see do that was The Miz, and that was at least 4 years ago.
Yeah.
You know?
And
Miz, you can't take anything from Miz. Miz can wrestle. Like, he knows he does implement a lot of old school shit. But he put him in that stretch, and I was like, an abominable stretch! Yeah. You know, that's like, you know, like the Red Arrow versus the abdominal stretch. Yeah. You know, like, all day abdominal stretch. It's just one of those moves I just, it's like it's like hearing today's rap, and if someone was to like do something sort of fundamental from the 90s, I was just like, yeah, that's cool. That's fucking
hell
cool.
Yeah. And I thought Titus throwing around Big E just like he was nothing. I thought that was really showing his strength there. What'd you think of this match?
The Titus O'Neil show, man.
Yeah.
It's coming soon. It's coming. It's been a slow burn on his ascend right now, even though he loses the match.
Yeah, Big E does hit the big ending.
Yeah, the big ending, but with the distraction from the other guys. Well done. I mean, it was a well done match. Mm-hmm. It's amazing. I think it's pretty cool.
This was a good match. This was better than All Right.
Yeah, this is not the match. I'll place it. The final match and this match tie for second place.
Second, is Kofi and Reigns their best?
What?
Which one would be your favorite?
Oh, the opening match.
Oh, okay.
Titus and Big E. Because, like, it's refreshing. It was refreshing. I think the crowd didn't even know how to take it all in. Because you got these two big black dudes. Hey, what? Bad enough, they got one black guy in there. Mm-hmm. They got another black guy in there, and they're facing off probably the most athletic guys on the roster. And they're just tossing each other around, like showing the display of strength and speed. Just like agility, just bar none. Like, it was just like, oh my God. No slow spots, no nothing other than an abdominal stretch. It was
the very beginning. Very
fast paced. And I think it ended correctly. And Titus O'Neil, slow burn to his ascent. And I have a theory that I think maybe down the road, Darren Young is probably going to turn on.
You think so?
Yeah, because you remember how they broke up the first time. After, like, it wasn't because after Darren Young, said he was gay.
Yeah.
They switched the storyline up. They actually had Titus O'Neil turn to be like basically a jobber heel. That's what he ended up being.
Yeah.
And I feel like Darren Young, because you see it, it's clear as day that they're focusing on Titus and they're giving him more time, showing off his ability.
Yeah.
I can see Darren Young is like, I watched this show. and I remember you kicking my ass when I didn't deserve it. You getting all this limelight now, fuck you, I'm fuck you up. And then Darren Young, I'm not sure what they're going to do with him. They've never had plans with him. They never had plans with him. And just have Titus O'Neil as a babyface, like just a big bad babyface. Who we just see, dude. I'm waiting for it. I'm waiting for it.
I could see, him versus Ryback, him versus Sheamus, him in the next level up.
Him versus Owens.
It'd be great, yeah.
It would be fun. That'd be a fun match.
And we had Reigns versus Kofi. I really felt this match was awesome. Xavier Woods continued to be awesome in this match, yelling a bunch of craziness the whole time.
Yawn fest.
You thought so?
Yawn.
Okay.
And the Superman punch was late. Yeah, it looked better in slow motion.
Yeah, Roman wins with the Superman punch. And then they show, after match, they show Dean Ambrose coming down to the ring with a gigantic bag of popcorn and a bucket of popcorn and a soda and everything, just sitting there with the world title, getting ready for the main event.
Because Reigns actually walks over with the chair. I'm like, what's happening? Is he like, he knows Ambrose is showing up. Does he have the chair to like fend off anyone who comes out and tries to attack? But he's like, no. He's like, oh, here's your chair, bro.
Did you see the guy next to Ambrose? He was like with the gray-haired mullet and the Ryback shirt.
No.
Oh, dude, it was like the best guy for Dean Ambrose sitting next to me. It's like this old Southern dude's like, all right, fuck it, Dean Ambrose sitting next to me.
But yeah, I did this Ambrose Reigns like bromance, and it's like ever since he's really turned on the bromance, Roman Reigns, he's been a different guy. He's been like a different character. Like before, he was like kind of like no nonsense, all business kind of guy. Like even when he walked through the crowd, he would kind of like he just kind of like don't touch me. And now he's like embracing the crowd. I'm like, this is what they've been doing. Should have been doing from the People's Champ. You're walking down the aisle. Like, you're the people's champ. Like, embrace the people's love.
As soon as Rollins turned on Dean and Roman a year and a half ago, they did not.
A year ago, like it was four days. I got it on my yesterday on my
Twitter feed.
My time hop.
Oh yeah.
It showed up. I made a post about them breaking up, like maybe 4 days afterwards or something like that.
That's awesome. Well, I mean that's interesting. But like I was saying, they never put them together. Like it's the next Raw, they just didn't have them be friends. Like why did they stop being friends?
Do you remember what happened today?
It was like the coffee.
Yeah, he spiked fucking.
Yeah, Steph and Hunter's coffee, right?
Yeah.
Whatever. But I definitely like what they're doing now better because Roman definitely needs a rub from someone more popular than him, like Dean Ambrose, and he needs to be like there's something missing for him to be all there. So if you put them together,
Akbar.
Yeah.
It's a trap. He's a little too chummy. He's a little too chummy for his own taste, for his own good. And they're setting it up nice. They're setting it up real nice. They're putting flowers on it. They're putting Reigns is gonna Reigns. I said it was gonna happen at the last pay-per-view.
Do you think it's gonna happen in this one?
It has to.
Yeah, Money in the Bank.
He wants to be a champion too, because he even mentions it in his promo. He mentions in his promo that he's going to face.
You know what just hit me?
What?
Reigns could win Money in the Bank, help Dean win, and then cash it in, and then him win the world title.
That would be overload.
Yeah, that's overbooking. Russo booking right here.
I mean, Rusev would have.
That'd be like a win, a turn, change. Yeah, you're right.
You would have to climb the ladder to climb a pole to get to the Money in the Bank. But yeah, it would be too much. If we're still trying to see what we want to do with Reigns, having something like that just go down immediately would just be overload. It'd be too much. Too much.
Okay.
I think there's a lot of stories that you can actually make out of the bromance, Ambrose-mance, between him and Reigns. I see a Jannetty, Michaels thing going. It can happen. It can happen. It could be a swerve. It could be Ambrose. It's like can turn paranoid. It's like you're just chumming up to me because you want my belt.
Yeah, that would be kind of interesting.
Like fuck you. He's like Triple H all over again with DX.
And then we go into the main event. This is my favorite match of the show.
It was surprisingly great.
Oh, yeah. Rollins versus J&J with Kane in J&J's side. Ambrose sitting there eating popcorn. Dumps a little bit on Seth at the early going. Seth gets pissed off. Goes in the ring. Joey Mercury with great drop kicks. Let's go Joey chants. Jamie Noble goes off. But then it's not enough. They get their asses kicked eventually. I like the spot where they Mercury got buckle bombed into the turnbuckle into Noble.
Yeah.
Which was a great spot. But then Ambrose jumps over the rail, slides Seth's belt in. Seth gets stoked that he sees it, picks it up, gets rolled up by Mercury. So J&J actually beat the person they're employed by. Yes.
With Mercury getting the pin. You know what I like the most about this match? It actually looked like a fight. It looked like a brawl between people who just don't get along.
Yeah, when they were coming down the ring, they were getting ready. You can tell, all this pin-up frustration. Like, think about whooping your boss's ass, just like how Stone Cold back in the day. This is them doing that. And I think that's why it got so over.
And it was like a feel-good story. You see... Mercury, in not your logic, but like people's logic of pinning people, Mercury is now a contender for the belt.
Yeah, why not?
Why? And you know what? Why not? Why not?
Why can't that be like a SmackDown match or a Raw match next week? I mean,
why can't this be a Raw match? Yeah, why can't this be like opening Raw?
Yeah, I can totally see
where it's like, dude, I pinned you, I deserve a shot at the belt. And then wow, that would be an overhaul of like positioning, like babyface, like all of a sudden J&J are baby faces. Mercury's a babyface. Noble's a babyface.
I thought they'd be a great tag team.
Who are they feuding with? Like, who? What do you do with them? Okay, I don't know. I just feel like...
Oh, you haven't feud. I mean, I think they would do... They'd have great matches with New Day. They'd have great matches with Lucha Dragons. They'd have great matches probably with Harper and Rowan. But
they would lose. I feel like they couldn't win those matches.
I mean, I think Jerry Mercury's been a tag team champion before, and Jamie Noble, former, Ring of Honor champ, former light heavyweight champ.
But the way their position is not to be taken seriously. Now, J&J actually becomes like a tag team. Will you take them seriously?
Oh, you can see it. They get over in the ring. I mean, they
get over. I mean, it was, dude. That was some of the best shit.
Yeah,
and it actually looked.
I think
believable fight.
In a few months, yeah, you take them seriously if you build them up properly.
Do you think they will book them seriously? As serious as Rowan and Harper?
You'd book them a little differently. I think you'd book them. It wouldn't be squash matches. You put them in where they'd have to overcome a little bit, being smaller guys, being quicker guys. But yeah, I think they got timing down perfect. I remember, I think it was in November when they did the Survivor Series, the build for Survivor Series. They did this great double drop kick where Harper was holding the dude's head and everything, and they got timing down great. And there's something awesome about watching guys wrestle in suits.
And that's what I'm about to ask you that. Will they keep the suits?
I think they should. I think that would be their gimmick, just wrestling in suits, these little guys that have these suits on.
What if they put them in Shield gear?
Shield gear.
They're they're basically like Shields, basically a smaller version of the Shield, and then they come out through the crowd. What would be their music?
That was funny about whenever they played. Did you hear Seth's music played for 2 seconds, and then they played Kane's music? I guess they couldn't have Seth get pinned and then have his own music play. Yeah. J&J doesn't have music. I don't know what their music would be. You probably just some guitar riff like they pick everybody else, Maybe something that says they're here to show the world. No, that's already off. Sorry.
It would have to be something southern and something hard.
Yeah, hell yeah. Like a Pantera or something.
It's something southern because you have to take the two. Well, one is kind of like the muscle quiet type, and the other one's like the super backwoods guy. So it'd be like some redneck metal. But basically this we rambled on for a good minute, but. This distraction roll up. It was a distraction roll up, the first in a while.
Oh yeah.
And Ambrose hits Dirty Deeds. He throws the belt in. He hits Dirty Deeds. He takes the belt back.
I love that part.
But the only problem I have with this whole thing is that I felt like we just did that with the Intercontinental title.
That and the whole gimmick where he threw the belt. I think it was last week on Raw. He threw the belt at him. Rollins caught it. He kicked him for the Dirty Deeds. So yes, this whole gimmick is a rehash of what they already did at WrestleMania, but also the whole thing about throwing the belt in, Rollins going for it, and then Dean's getting it back. They did that even last week on Raw. Mm-hmm. So if you want to be nitpicky, I would say yeah, they're just rehashing old stuff. But I think when what the characters, what the wrestlers are getting given to them, they're flourishing with. You know what I'm saying? I think they're doing a great job portraying what they're given.
Yeah, but sometimes that shit you can't get. Say take what Paige and Bella are having to deal with, and Naomi. You can't beat that shit. There's no way to make that better. There's no way to overcome that, or say what they're doing with Bray Wyatt. He's fucked.
Yeah, what happened with Bray? I think if they need to just put the Wyatt family back together, especially if they're just going to push Harper and Rowan, because then at least Bray would at least be there on camera, maybe even on commentary, to get his promo skills over while you're watching Harper and Rowan wrestle. But yeah, he's floundering hard. It seems years ago since he's wrestled Ryback, and that was a show 3 weeks ago.
Ryback is giving shit. He can't make that any better. Yeah, it's you would only wish that everyone had the instinct of Damien Sandow, just to be able to really, or hell, even the redhead. I said his name earlier.
Rowan?
No. Heath Slater. You know, he's taking what he's given and making the best out of it. Whenever he shows up, it's always a good time, even though his like gimmick is shit. 3MB when he was by himself, like he always made it work. You know, and the U.S. title shit that he was stuck with, I was like, man, like when he's in the back, he makes it to the ramp. He finally makes it to the ring. He gets bopped in the head by fucking fucking Hart.
Bret Hart.
Bret Hart. That was funny. But oh man, I listened to the Jim Ross report with Bret Hart interview.
Is that good?
2 hours of amazing discussion, and it was almost like the Stone Cold Steve Austin Paul Heyman interview, where it was just like a really good conversation. It was the same for this. They talk about Owen, they talk about the screw job, you know, they talk about today's wrestling. It's almost like those two interviews, Ross with Hart, Austin with Heyman, it's like you can listen to those, they're almost parallel to each other.
Yeah, I love hearing Heyman talk.
But go back and listen. Go and listen
to JR.
Yeah, go listen to JR Hart. Yeah, it's actually got both of those interviews got like the internet world buzzing. They come off as old cranky men, like talking about like.
Well, that's what I love.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, explaining how it's changed at least, and they don't seem like it's changed for the better ever. So yeah, I love it. But
you don't get that impression with that. They talk about who they really like. They just go into things. It's almost like just they're nitpicking to a certain extent, but they're nitpicking about the right stuff, the selling, the move sets, the idea of the kicking out of big moves, and how that's a detriment, you know. Okay. And I see that too, because you talk about like Titus O'Neil and that pop up, the power pump, whatever the fuck you want to call it. Pump handle slam. Like that's a kick out. That's a kick out finisher. Like, you know, you got people kicking out of fucking power bombs and choke slams and shit.
I mean, a few people in the U.S. title challenge kicked out, like Zayn, Neville. I think even Ryder kicked out of, or not Ryder, but kicked out of the AA.
Yeah, they kick out of AA.
Yeah, that's.
So I was just saying, you know, like that's what is gonna. It's like, what is it gonna take? Weapons? It's gonna take a gun? It's like, I shoot you, motherfucker. Yeah. Kick it out and get shot in the face. You know, like that.
Yeah, for sure.
That it's what it is. But that's, man, episode what, 42?
Yeah.
Episode 42 of Peter and Jake Talks Wrasslin. Again, that was Raw and a couple of other
random topics.
Yeah, goodies and whatnot. This is part one, being that Money in the Bank. Man, you do the finish.
Yeah, Money in the Bank is this Sunday, of course, so we're going to do our prediction YouTube special as we always do, so tune into that. It's going to be on YouTube. It's going to be floating around on Twitter, on Facebook, where we're going to be showing you how good we look and showing you our predictions. I think Peter won for the first time for Elimination Chamber, so let's see if he can keep this streak alive. I am Jake.
Oh, yeah, and you can find us, too, man. Ellen Japanese, LINJAPANESC. That's the SoundCloud account. That's also the Instagram, the Snapchat, and the Twitter. You also can find my wrestling tweets at PJTW Central. That's PJTW Central. Twitter, I do live tweets with Raw. I will be doing live tweets of Elimination Chamber. I will also have a live reaction video as well. PJTWCentral.com. I've been slacking off on that.
Oh, yeah.
But I'm back on.
At JG Pro Wrestling on Twitter and SoundCloud.com/JG Pro Wrestling for Fast in the World NXT review and a few other podcasts coming up on there soon. But this is part one. Fuck yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. We'll see you
for part two.
Yeah, that's been a bit. Peace.
You have been listening to Peter and Jake Talks Wrasslin podcast. Please tune in next week.
Come on, y'all, get live, get down. Like, come on, y'all, get live, get down. I said, come on, y'all, get live, get down. I said, come on, y'all. y'all, get live, get down.